Hello everybody, welcome back to the video, and today we're going to be reviewing the Celestial Toymaker. So, let's just get into this. So, just jumping right into this, I thought this story was incredible, right? But we're going to get into more details in a little bit. So, we're going to start with things that I didn't like. Okay, so maybe this was weird writing in terms of the giggle. We're going to start there. Basically, I thought the Toymaker was actually going to get to play some games in this story. And I know it sounds weird, but I kind of wanted to see the Toymaker actually get involved in some of these games. He occasionally tells the Trilogic game, move to this point, right? But ultimately doesn't actually play any games. He's more active in the giggle, which is, I actually thought makes a little bit more sense. But that's my only critique, is I would have actually liked to have seen the Toymaker get involved in one of the games directly. When the Toymaker says a more deadly opponent is needed for this final game, I was saying, is he actually about to play the final game against Steven and Dodo? Nope. But that's my only nitpick with the story, is I would have liked to actually see the Toymaker actually play some games. But that's really it, because, I thought this story was incredible. Right, so obviously, elephant in the room, this really isn't much of a First Doctor story. He's in the story some, but basically Hartnell's health was deteriorating at the time, and so when this story was written, the intention was going to be when Hartnell came back, or when the First Doctor came back, it was going to be a different actor. A final machination of the Toymaker. Glad that didn't happen, because that means every time they wanted to get a new actor, they would have had to bring the Toymaker back to adjust the Doctor's appearance. But yeah. So, story focuses mainly on Steven and Dodo playing a series of games. And I will say this, I guess one other issue is I would have liked to have seen more elaborate games, because these games are just kind of games you would see. Some game shows, I think, have more creative games than these, but these are still entertaining games to watch. Episode 3, I don't know if it was intended to be a comedic episode, but it had me laughing. I was laughing a lot during that third episode. And I know this is a big elephant in the room. I'm going to get to the animation in a little bit. But vocal-wise, voice acting-wise, I think that if this episode existed fully, because from the final episode of the story and the animation, this is one of Steven's best episodes. Right? I watched The Recon of the Massacre. I still think that's his best episode. But honestly, this could be a very close second. Right? And one thing that really was interesting to me is the debate between Steven and Dodo on if these people that they're playing against, if they're actually real people that the Toymaker is trapped there. I kind of wish that this would have been a reveal for later on in the story. That way the audience, the viewer, could think, well, what is it? Is this true? Who's right? You find out pretty early on. And if you watched The Giggle before, these are actual people who have lost games to the Toymaker. And so, it's very good. Very good. Very good plot. And for that last episode, it's really good. It's a simple answer for how the whole thing gets resolved, with the Doctor basically doing an impression of the Toymaker to move the piece to the final move. But it's a very good explanation, and the Doctor was definitely in a conundrum for sure. I really think the Toymaker is one of the best villains in the entire show, easily. Between this and the Giggle, great villain. But let's talk about that animation. Animation was a little weird to some people. It's the same style as the Web of Fear. This is a big step up from the Web of Fear, easily. And I'm just going to say this, I don't think the animation would work in black and white. Watch it in color. This animation is designed for color. They're all designed for color, but this is the one where color works best with it. And honestly, I think that the black and white animation might not be great. I didn't want to watch the black and white animation because I thought, well, this obviously from the trailer that got released and watching the giggle and getting a little bit of a taste of the Toymaker's powers there, I was like, well, this has to be one I have to watch in color. And honestly, that's probably going to be the way that I watch this story for repeat viewings. Great animation. Maybe a top 5 for animations, honestly. It's very good. I think this is going to go down as one of the more underrated ones. A lot of action in this story with the different games. The Toymaker's dimension is incredible. And I actually forgot this is the story before the gunfighters, before I watched it. And I watched it and I was like, what's this? And then the doctor takes a bite out of that candy and it's like, oh yeah. And then he has to go to the dentist in the next episode, and that's how you get involved in the gunfighters. Yeah, so it's a very good story, honestly. Very good season 3 story. Full of interesting great villain, honestly. I completely get from this story why people were so excited to see the Toymaker return. Honestly, it does make me wish that we had gotten another performance by Michael Goff as the Toymaker, who is the highlight of this episode. I would have loved to have seen another story. He was apparently set for a return in the 80s with the original plan for the season that wound up being a Trial of a Time Lord. He was going to be in the story The Nightmare Fair. Really wish that we would have gotten to see one more performance from him as the Toymaker. But still, very good. Very good story. Great writing. It's got some genuine comedic moments. A powerful enemy for the Doctor. This is a great story. I would highly recommend checking it out if you can get it on DVD or Blu-ray. And honestly, scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give The Celestial Toymaker, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's a very good story. Honestly, is one of my favorite First Doctor stories. You've got for First Doctor, it's currently the Massacre and the Chase. But honestly, this might be a top 3 First Doctor story for me. Very good. I thought it'll be interesting. Very good. Very great story. Hope that the animation brings it to further light as a great story. Actually, the only issue, now that I can think about it, with the actual release is the animation is so good, the story might be weaker if it gets recovered. Anyway, leave your thoughts on this story in the comments section down below. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.